What's up, self-healers? Lisa Lightfeather here. Welcome to my channel, Closing the Gap, where we make a conscious effort to meet you where you're at on your healing and your spiritual journey. Today I want to come on and speak about the topic of the female narcissist and how the female narcissist is more likely to fly under the radar. Yeah? And so the female narcissist is very calculated, right? And so due to the traditional gender roles within the world, the masculine energy is less likely to come forward and say, hey, I'm being abused, right? Because to be quite frank, there's not a lot of space for them when it comes to men being victims of domestic violence or narcissistic abuse. The traditional roles of a man being masculine and a man fixing things and a man keeping things in his home and keeping his house together and keeping his job together and keeping his life together. There's a lot of pressure on men. And so when they come into contact with the narcissistic woman, she can get away with a whole lot for a really long time. Now this happens to women as well, but the masculine energy suffers in silence. Now, women might have they might have their girlfriends, or they might have their mom, or they might have social media. They'll find an outlet somewhere. Although they may still be stuck in the relationship, they will find an outlet somewhere to speak to someone outside of the relationship about what's happening. Yeah? But men typically tend to suffer in silence. So what happens in the narcissistic woman in the masculine relationship? So the narcissistic woman comes in true narcissistic form and she love bombs the man. Now the one thing that all narcissists use, right? But the female narcissist primarily uses sex and her looks. And so part of her love bombing is giving him all the sex that he wants, never saying no. As a matter of fact, she'll be the one to initiate it, yeah? And let me tell you something about these heifers. They'll suck a golf ball through a water hose in one inhalation. Anyways, moving right along. So they hook the man in with sex and their looks if they have them, right? And what they'll do is they'll mirror him. They'll mirror him. So they will start getting interested in anything that he's interested in. Yeah? So if he likes horseback riding, all of a sudden, I've always loved horseback riding. Or whatever it is he's in, if he's in some type of fraternity, or if he's in some type of Masonic organization, or if he's in the military, whatever organization he's in, she finds a way to be interested in that. If his religion is Muslim, then she'll start dressing in the Muslim spiritual garb, whatever, with the, I'm sorry, I don't know the actual names of, but the head covering and the Muslim garb, and start celebrating the holidays of those sacred days during that religion, like when they fast for so long or something like that. She'll join in with that and show support with stuff like that. She may be interested in whatever it is he's interested in. So say, for example, if he's in some type of organization, let's just use the Black Panthers for an example. If he's a Black Panther, then all of a sudden she could be a white woman, and now she's somehow involved with the organization of Black Panther. So they basically mirror that person. True narcissistic form. It just looks different when it comes from a female. Female narcissists will love bomb by giving extravagant gifts. Yeah, they'll give extravagant gifts, or they will do public displays of affection where they dress up really pretty, they look really good, and then they're on his arm and they make him look good. And what man doesn't want a beautiful woman on his arm? That's interested in all the same things that he's interested in, no doubt. Oof. And so she tries to embed herself into his life, getting around his friends so everybody sees her, going to his place of work so everybody sees her, trying to get close to his family and getting his family to like them. Now, if the family doesn't like her for some reason, they pick up on the fact that she's a narcissist or that she's doing something shady, then she will start slowly devaluating the family and separating the person that she has, the victim that she has as her target, separating him from the family so that she has him all to herself. Now that's a long, like I said, the female narcissist plays the long game. She may do things like, in addition to buying extravagant gifts, like when his birthday comes around, she may throw this big extravagant birthday party. Yeah. So all of his friends are there and all of his family is there. And she's not really throwing that birthday party for him. She's throwing the birthday party for her, to show what a great person she is and how much she is there for him and how much she does for him. All right? And it's a setup. The whole birthday party and all the gifts things is a setup. Because what happens is that eventually, when it comes time to her birthday and he doesn't throw the big extravagant party, but he buys her a modest gift to recognize her birthday, that's when the devaluation phase starts. All I did for you, and look what you got for me. They're never grateful. Even if the gift was a gift that really meant something, it was a beautiful gift, but the narcissistic female is never grateful. Now, if this man is a man of stature and has money, she plays the role of the kept woman, demanding only the best. $2,000 shoes, $3,000 dresses, and so forth and so on. And if it's just an average man and he loves her, she ultimately ends up hating him for loving her. Now, a man with money, she will try to control him, and anybody that comes within that realm of him and of her and his relationship, she will cut them off, even go so far as putting her hands on them or fighting them, because she's protecting the money. She's not really protecting the man. She's protecting her resources. So she embeds herself into the man's life, his work life, his social life, his family life. And her goal is to ultimately get something contractual. Now, whether that be marriage or getting her name on something that he owns, his house, his car, something that he owns, whether that be embedding herself in his social life, he has important events to go to, so she might, I'll work on the board in his social life, and so she gets really into his most personal and in-depth life. So her goal is to embed herself into his life and get something contractual. She may start a business with them so that both of their names are on this business. And the reason she does this is because it makes it more difficult for this man to leave once he wakes up and sees that he's in a relationship with a demon. And so now he may have invested money into this business, or he may have invested money into this home with this person, or he may have invested money or he may have invested time in his reputation and who he sees himself to be. Now this person has embedded themselves into the social life. She's going to the events with them. She's on the board. She's one of the voting committees or whatever it is. She may have embedded herself into his religious and spiritual life, and now everybody there knows her. So these are all important spaces for this man. And now this demon, or this narcissistic woman, has embedded herself into his life in these places. She may go so far as to marry him or to get pregnant by him, depending on how bad she wants to try to keep him. Now, if the man doesn't see this and he loves her and he starts, being kind to her and stuff like that, the narcissistic woman will hate him for it. And she'll start devaluing him, calling him weak, calling him a simp, telling him he's stupid, telling him, you don't think about me like I think about you. I threw that big birthday party for you and look what you got me. You got me a houseplant. Very ungrateful, and very entitled. They may do stuff like show up at his house unannounced, as if she has every right to do so. Very entitled of his time. Yeah. And so when she starts devaluating him, who does he go to? Who does he speak to about that? Does he go to his social organization and speak about that? She's already there. She's already on the board. Does he go to his religious organization and do that? She's already dressed up in all the religious gear and everything. She's already shown them that she's the perfect person for him. Does he go to his boys? No, his boys was like, damn, man, she fine. Like that. His boys done already hyped him up. So she's already made everybody else think that she's the perfect person. But behind closed doors, she's devaluating him. The man starts doing things to cope, like he's confused. He's exhausted. He's walking on eggshells because he doesn't know what's going to make her snap. What's going to make her go into the devaluation phase. Now, she can go into the devaluation phase from the slightest little if she feels slighted in any way. And that could be anything as simple as being told no. Or like I said, the whole birthday thing, she gets a houseplant. Or she gets, a necklace or something. And that's not good enough. So she feels slighted. It's a narcissistic wound. And so she starts making him suffer. This man might have to walk on eggshells, or he might take the long way home. He takes the long way home because he just doesn't want to go. Never mind that it was his house to begin with, but now he doesn't even want to be in the home because he knows that the narcissistic woman is waiting there. She may use sex as a tool, like deprive him of sex, sleep in another room, sleep with her back to him in the bed, sleep on the sofa. Might give him the silent treatment. Now he's in his own house and she's giving him the silent treatment. He may do something like when he gets off work, he just sits in the car in the driveway. He doesn't even want to go in. He doesn't feel safe in his own home anymore, or the home that they have, whether it was his or hers. She has devaluated him so much that he's unsure of who he even is. Now, when he finally wakes up and he moves on, let's say he moves on, he finds somebody else, he gets married, he has children, so forth and so on, the narcissist is angry. It's a huge narcissistic wound. So she may do something like sleep with his brother. Just get as close as she possibly can to wounding him because he's moved on and he has a new family and he's happy. Narcissists hate when you're happy. But these men ultimately suffer in silence. There's no place for them to go. So it can be pretty bad for a man who's in a relationship with a narcissistic female. Because when he loves her, she hates him for it. He's weak, he's stupid, he's dumb. And because he's weak, stupid, and dumb, he deserves whatever he gets. Now, in these places where she has embedded herself, she's embedded herself in his social life, his church life, and all this stuff, there's always that one person within that community that she has either slept with or that she has allowed to, do something or something of that sort. She starts trouble in these spaces too. She'll go into these spaces, these important spaces in this person's life, and she'll say, your friend touched me. And now the man is at the church raising hell because somebody at the church touched her. Or somebody within his social life touched her. And now his social life has mad tension. The narcissist's goal is to destroy everything that you have, to take over your social life, to take over your personal life, to take over your spiritual life. That's what they do. To take over your financial life. They're a part of everything. They try to get into with your family. If he has children, then she's all of a sudden, she's TT, or she's not, whatever the nickname she has. Now she's the mother to these children. Because if someone trusts you enough to let you get close enough to their children, it's hard because the children, they're innocent, so they automatically love. And so it's hard to explain to your children why such and such isn't around anymore. And so you break their hearts. These poor men suffer in silence. Now, what I would recommend is that the man finds a support group, right? Because they do have narcissistic support groups. and find someone who gets it so that he can get some type of confirmation that he's not crazy, that he's not making things up, that he is being love bombed, that he is being gaslighted, that he is being devaluated, that he is being abandoned and discarded and hoovered back in. Usually hoovered back in with sex and the promise that it won't happen again. I feel sorry for these men because it takes them a really long time to see what's happening. And a lot of these men have also been victims of narcissistic mothers, which is the primary reason why they're great candidates for the narcissistic woman. Yeah? So I have compassion for these men who have been exposed to narcissistic women. Now, a lot of men are speaking out on platforms such as mine and things of that sort, but there's still men out there who aren't saying anything, that they have no idea what they're in. They can't figure it out. Like I said, they're confused and they're exhausted. They don't know what's going on, and they don't know the first way to get out of it. That narcissistic woman has been weaving a web for years, and now she's just sitting in that web like a black widow. And the poor man, he's just there, a victim trapped in the web, being eaten alive. These women will also put life insurance on these people in the hopes that they cash in. These women are dangerous. They are really dangerous. All narcissists are dangerous to the welfare and the health of another person. But I believe narcissistic women are very calculated. They play the long game. And so these men, it takes them a really long time to figure out what's happening to them. And they have a hard time getting out of it. A lot of these men suffer in silence. So I just say, we'll get some help, just like any domestic violence help, the domestic violence hotline, narcissistic support group hotline, or something of that sort. And I'll try to find some of those resources and put them in the description of this video. Well, my heart goes out to men who are entrapped with narcissistic women. I'm wishing you the very best along your healing journey. That's all I have for you today. Here on Closing the Gap, we make a conscious effort to meet you where you're at on your healing and your spiritual journey. I'm pulling for you. I'm pulling for us. Let's make this healing thing happen. If you like my energy, don't forget to like and subscribe. Maybe leave a comment. And if you're really feeling my vibe, don't forget to hit that bell notification so that you know the next time that I upload. We'll see you next time here on Closing the Gap. Y'all have a good day.